Hello there, my delicious little friends. How you doing today? Today we're going to go over the lingo of Bloons Tower Defense. So the problem I've been having with a couple people is they're saying, Chris, I really don't understand what you're talking about when you say certain things in your videos. What's popping power? What's this? What's RBE? What's naps? I get a lot of questions about these things. So I've decided to make sure that everybody's on the same page here and make a little lingo video for you guys really freaking quick. Hopefully I can make it interesting for you as well. We're going to talk about a couple of these simple things as well as getting a little bit more fancy in here and talking about the more intense things. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is RBE. Now this is one of those things that everybody usually understands, but if you're a completely new player, you don't know what it means. I mean, we all were at that point where we didn't know what the heck RBE meant. Some of us figured it out just by looking on there and understanding what happened on level 1 and then what happened on level 3, and then some of us just asked other people and figured it out from that or forums. So RBE is usually down here somewhere, and it stands for red balloon equivalent. A red balloon equivalent, really fast, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 red balloons coming out, and that is a red balloon equivalent, of course, 5. But then also if you have a pink balloon, that is also a red balloon equivalent of 5 because you have the pink, yellow, green, blue, and red. That's 5 balloons that come out from that one little balloon. Red balloon equivalent of 5. If you get more intense and you start sending out a ceramic balloon, for example, it gets to 104, so it adds up pretty darn fast. So let's just go over this really quick. Each ceramic has 2 rainbows, which each has 2 zebras. So we have 4 zebras. Each of those 4 zebras each has a black and a white, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how many balloons come out of a zebra. And then you have 2 pinks that come out of each one of those balloons. And those pinks will equal 80 balloons altogether. So you have 80 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 10. And each ceramic has 10 layers, by the way, so that's why we have a 10 for the red balloon equivalent of the ceramic. So it can add up pretty darn fast. Now, getting even more intense, which I'm not going to go over all the Moab class balloons, that's just too crazy for me. Let's go over to the next one. This is probably the biggest question that I have, or the biggest confusion that I have, and I decided to go over this kind of early in the video. What is popping power? What is Pierce? And why do you keep saying Moab popping power? What's that? Alright, let's go over that really quick. So first of all, popping power, I think the best way to understand this is actually with a dart monkey. So my keyboard still doesn't work, so I'm going to go over here, and I got to use the mice for everything. Got to mice things all around. Those little squeakers. Alright, so let's go over Pierce first. Pierce. Pierce and popping power are not the same thing, but they're very similar actually, and I think the dart monkey is the best way to understand that. Now keep in mind that these are all the definitions that I've kind of made up that I kind of use in my gameplay, so this might not be a universal definition for everybody, and that is just to be understood that nobody really just came up with these things. I kind of just decided that this works best for me to relay the information to you guys, and I kind of made up my own definitions, and this makes sense to me. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys as well. So Pierce. Alright. So this dart monkey has 1 Pierce and 1 popping power. So if we send out 2 balloons, each shot that he takes, he has 1 popping power. He pops the red balloon. Now if we upgrade him to sharp shots, alright? Now, instead of popping 1 balloon per shot, he pops 2 balloons per shot. So he's still actually at 2 Pierce and 2 popping power. He will pop 2 balloons per shot, as well as he will pop through the first balloon and pop the second balloon. Now let's get a little bit more, it actually doesn't get that much more fancy, with the razor sharp shots. Again, 4 popping power and 4 Pierce. So he will pop through 4 balloons altogether, and it seems kind of weird. I've just noticed this very recently, actually. Watch this really quick. You'll notice that he pops through not the closest balloons to him, but oftentimes they'll actually go through it. For example, I'll send out 5 right now. And you'll see he'll pop through it and the middle balloon will remain, or one of the last, or the second to last balloon will remain, which I think is interesting. It doesn't pop through the first 4 balloons, it pops through the first 3, skips 1, and then hits the last one. That is just interesting to me. I don't know why that happens, but it was cool. I liked it. Alright, so now it's going to get a lot fancier here. Alright, once we get to triple darts. So now each dart still has 4 popping power and 4 Pierce. But now overall as a tower, he only has 4 Pierce because each dart can only go through 4 balloons. But his popping power, since he throws out 3 darts, is actually 12. So that's the way I usually talk about Pierce and popping power, but we can get into a little bit better definition maybe with using a cannon. So if we send out 12 balloons here, That should be 12 right there. Each shot should pop every single one of those, or all 12 of those balloons. He should have, but he's not really, which is okay. I can't really press it fast enough, so they're good enough, and all the darts don't miss it either. So anyways, yeah, 4 pierce, 12 popping power for that dart monkey. Now it gets a little bit more interesting when we go to this cannon. For example, it never pierces a balloon. It will never go through a balloon and hit another balloon, but it does have a lot of popping power. If you hit, it has basically, what would that word be? An area of attack. So if you have a bunch of blue balloons coming around here, and I put him on close, he's going to have an area attack where he has a lot of popping power. He can pop like 8 balloons per shot, but again, it'll never go through a balloon and hit another balloon. At least that's the way I think about it. Hopefully that's not too confusing. And also, you're going to have a lot more popping power once you get to up to a 3-0 cannon. Of course, your popping power is going to increase. Again, you don't have really any more pierce. So hopefully that kind of makes you guys understand popping power and pierce. Is there any other towers I could possibly go over with that? I don't know, maybe the Monkey Ace. The overall popping power of a Monkey Ace is a lot. He shoots out 8 darts, and it can pop, if I get this upgrade right here, it can pop 8 balloons each. So now he can pop through 8 balloons each, and he shoots out pretty darn fast. So if every single shot popped every single balloon, he'd have 64 popping power altogether, but each dart would only have 8 pierce. He could go through 8 balloons. Is it going to get the max popping power out of every single shot? Probably not. So overall has a lot of popping power, not as much pierce. And let's move on to the next thing, Moab popping power. Now this is something that you guys really need to understand. There's a big difference between popping power and Moab popping power. For example, this cannon has a freaking crap load of popping power. If we send out billions of yellows, he's gonna like pop them all, right guys? Yeah, he's gonna do a very, very good job at popping a lot of those balloons, especially if you have multiple of those and in a better spot than what he is right here. But a crap load of popping power. But if I send out a Moab, he's only gonna do 1 damage or 2 damage per hit. Like, he's never going to be able to take down that Moab. But he popped a crap load of balloons, but now he's bad against the Moab. Oh no, that's so sad, right? I agree, it is. So, the best way to understand Moab popping power is with, again, probably dart monkeys or super monkeys. So Moab popping power is different than pierce as well. So for example, if you have a dart monkey who has a 1, 2, and yeah, let's just leave him as a 0-2. He's a 0-2 dart monkey. That means each shot will actually pop 4 balloons, but it's still 1 Moab popping power per shot. Every single time he hits that Moab, it's actually only hitting and damaging the Moab once. That's kind of sad. So the best way to get Moab popping power is to have something attack in rapid succession that's really not that strong, because it doesn't matter how many balloons it can go through. It doesn't matter what the pierce is. It only matters how fast you're shooting and how many times you can hit it. Except for the sniper. The sniper, I think, is the only thing that can actually damage it more than 1 hit per shot. Possibly high-level super monkeys. Other than that, I think it's pretty much just how fast you shoot. So super monkeys. Super monkeys are the best Moab popping power. Just understanding a 0-0 super monkey, every single one of those hits is damaging the Moab 1 hit. Every single one of those darts, which you can barely see, is damaging the Moab 1 hit, so it pops up pretty darn fast, as you can tell. That's why I usually get a Moab around level 46. It does a lot of Moab popping power. On the other hand, a 0-0 super monkey really doesn't have a lot of popping power, because its pierce is only 1. It can only pierce 1 balloon per shot. If you have a crap load of blue balloons, it's never going to go through those blue balloons. Actually, it's kind of tough to actually show, especially because I can't hold down the button because my keyboard doesn't work. So I have to, oh here, let's slow this down a little bit, maybe that'll help. So you're going to notice that super monkey is only going to pop 1 balloon per shot, so it's only got a pierce of 1, and its popping power is technically still 1, but it shoots faster, so it has more popping power than a dart monkey. So again, speed comes into play here. I really don't have a word for how fast it shoots, but that's the way I talk about it. The next thing I have to talk about. How about, what are all the Moab class balloons called? The Moab, the BFB, and the Zo My God, or the ZOMG. Realistically, they're supposed to be called a Moab, a BFB, and a ZOMG. But I call it as oh my god just because it sounds more fun and cool. And a lot of people complain. A lot of people used to complain about that. They're like, it's not a oh my god, it's a ZOMG. Like, why are you calling that? It doesn't even stand. It doesn't even have a G at the end there. But Ninja Kiwi did that on purpose. That guys, they made it OMG on purpose. You're supposed to say oh my god. It's supposed to be cool like that, and I think it is cool. So all right. So what do they stand for? Moab is Massive Ornery Air Blimp. Alrighty. It used to be Mother of All Balloons, because it was the mother of all of the balloons inside of it, which made sense. But then they changed that because they got a bigger balloon, a BFB, and it wasn't the mother of all balloons anymore. The next one, BFB, the Brutal Flying Behemoth. Yeah, so that's what that stands for. And then the ZOMG, I call it as oh my god just because it sounds cool. Again, it's the Zeppelin of Mighty Gargantuanness. Oh yeah, the Zeppelin of Mighty Gargantuanness. That does sound pretty fantastic, doesn't it? And then just because we're here, I'm on Bloons Tower Defense 5. I'm not on Bloons Monkey City, but if you were on Bloons Monkey City, you'd also have a DDT, the Dark Dirigible Titan. And that guy's pretty darn scary. He definitely is. You need to use certain things to pop him. I think the best thing is probably a Spike Factory, actually. But that's about it for the Moab class balloons. And I have a few things really quick that you guys probably have heard, but you usually only see it on the forums or other things like that. Every once in a while you hear about it, but how about the R-Rod? I usually just, in my head, I usually call it a rod. That's what I usually say. I just roll my R's because it's 2 R's, or 3 R's actually. It's either the Rainbow Rush of Doom or the Regrow Rainbow Rush of Doom. 3 R's is Rod. And that's when on BTD battles on level 13 you send out a crap load of Regrow Rainbows and you kill people. It's very hard to beat, especially if you're a noob cakish player. You don't understand it at all. And then the last few things are a Spactory, which I think most people understand. Spike Factory, Spactory, it makes sense. Doesn't matter what level it is, just 0-0 Spike Factory. The ROF, a lot of people say the ROF, it's the Ring of Fire. And I think that is about it. That's about it for the lingo. Now, if I forgot anything, put them down in the comments down there, and I'll make sure I put it in the description. If you guys have any questions about what anything means, please post it down there, and I'll try and make sure I get back to you pretty darn soon. As always, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful. At least I hope so. And again, if you have any questions about the Moab Popping Power, or Pierce, or if you have any discrepancies in what you think counts as one of those, let me know. Let me know, and I'll try and get back to you pretty darn soon. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.